for the past 6 years, there was a lot that happened, mostly court cases. And for the last 6 years, there hasn't been any elections. And Calvin, to be honest, it was a nightmare. They only accepted the current executive board on the 18th of June 2024.
Yeah.
We're not where we want to be. But what we will have to do better is our planning of the chess calendar, because
talk about chess calendar. Shouldn't the SA close be like the main tournament on the calendar? I mean, I think that should be priority.
And there is a possibility that Magnus will make an appearance there. If not, because we're not always sure about Magnus.
We're gonna get Hans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chess nonsense and analysis. Here we are again, viewers, and today I've got a special treat for you. I've got none other than the guy that got us back into reality, basically, chess-wise, president of Chess South Africa, Mr. Andre Lewaks. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Calvin, and thank you for having me. I think it's quite an honor for me to talk to you and to have a good discussion. I don't know anything about the analysis part, but I can promise you that I can talk some nonsense.
Okay. No, I think I've seen you play as well before, so I'm sure you've got your own analysis. Every chess player does have, but we'll stick to the discussions this evening. So a disclaimer to the viewers out there, I'm not a professional interviewer. This is not going to be like an interview. It's more going to be like a discussion. So I decided just to contact Andre because as a chess player, I have certain things on my mind, and I would love to have your thoughts on it, seeing that you are leading us here. And so maybe I can just start off by asking, how are you doing thus far? How long have you been? I don't even know. It's been such a blur since the old regime was taken over. How has things gone thus far? What's your general feeling about Chess South Africa at the moment?
Well, I think at the moment, we are doing, I would say, fine, or maybe I can say we are doing well. We're not 100% where we want to be. If we look at where we're coming from, because for the past 6 years, there was a lot that happened, mostly court cases. And for the last 6 years, there hasn't been any elections and so on. So we have this executive board. And it wasn't quite easy getting everything started because when you come from chaos, you need to actually look at what is the avenues on how do you get to stability. Basically where we started, our whole chess infrastructure from an administrative perspective were destroyed. So we had to start rebuilding administratively, but not only administratively, also putting different type of systems in place, focusing on administrators, players, and etc. Because I think the engine room have many parts, and some people would just look at the board and there's good activity, and then everything would look healthy, but it's like a car. Everything is beautiful in the outside. And if you open up the engine, you see that there's actually a lot that goes in to get the car on the road. And I think we've done quite well to start putting things together.
Fantastic. I can, for one, I can say that I am purely, for the most part, just a chess player, so I can only imagine what's going on in the background. Yeah, I am going to be kind of like throwing questions out. I have a lot of topics that I have in mind, but maybe for the first thing, and maybe this has been discussed already or mentioned publicly, but first things first, when South Africa's admitted back to SASCOC, how easy was that? Is this mission accomplished? I am the uneducated chess player here. I just go to tournaments and play. I just like to know from you, are we fully back and is that sorted now?
Yeah, Calvin, to be honest, it was a nightmare because
Okay.
before I was elected as president of Chess South Africa, I've been the president of Western Cape Chess Association for 2 years. And at that stage, when I was the president there, I thought that we are doing very well in chess, or at least in the Western Cape. But when I got elected as on the executive board, I discovered that there's a lot of administrative issues that was not handled by predecessors. And I think the whole Chess South Africa, and if I say Chess South Africa, I believe I include the provinces, all provinces, they have been disempowered by the previous executive board because when we got in, we found out that there was a lot of compliance from SASCOC that was outstanding. So there was never any report back from the previous board in terms of what the issues was with SASCOC and what the compliance documents were that needed to be submitted to SASCOC. Now, there's a different process that the executive board needs to submit compliance documents, but coupled with that, there was also um, provinces that need to submit compliance documents, and
Yeah.
that was quite a lot that needs to be submitted. And some of those compliance documents linked to marketing communication strategies. So we had to develop all of those kind of things from the onset. But not only that, we needed to submit to develop transformation plans because Chess South Africa never had a transformation plan. We needed to submit to design protocols, for instance, for tournaments. And what needs to be in place. We needed to submit, to develop safeguarding policies. So we've developed all those policies, and that's why I'm saying our infrastructure we lost. It's also almost like a pilot. When there's an accident, you discover that there's many things that you need to actually now do,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you don't have anything to actually
yeah,
control the plane. So those infrastructure was destroyed. And besides, on a national level, but also on a provincial level, because no one ever said with the provinces what should be in place. And I think the provinces, together with the board, they regroup very well, and we really established the working relationships. There was never, I don't think chess in general or in South Africa, or let me rather say for the past 6 years, has actually invested in building relationships. And building and establishing those relationships became so important. So we've assisted all the provinces to develop all these documents. Their documents had to be verified by SASCOC. And then, if you submit documents, it's not always correct. We had the road shows with SASCOC where they had a fact-finding mission of what is really happening on the
yeah,
ground.
yeah,
And they were talking with so it's a whole long process actually to get us to accept it. So, and I always tell colleagues if we talk is that there was lots of expectations in the executive board in well, you were elected now, you need to perform. It is not as easy as that. For instance, we were elected 25 of November 2023.
okay.
Yes, it's almost 2 years,
It's like a blur
but
to us chess players. We like, see, yeah,
yes, but the FIDE only accepted the current executive board on the 18th of June 2024.
okay,
So actually,
okay,
between 2025 of November to 18 June 2024, there was no real executive, although we actually had to just keep things together
yeah,
behind the scene, working with a reverse delegate
yeah, yeah,
and everything else, making sure that tournaments happen. Everything was short notice because you had the mercy of FIDE need to answer, this one need to answer, this one need to give permission. So there wasn't real control
yeah, yeah.
handed over to the executive board. As I said, 18 June 2024. So it was a roller coaster.
Okay,
And then when we achieved that, we had to also achieve the SASCOC good standing, and we were only accepted in SASCOC end of April, I think, this year.
Oof,
So
okay.
yes, so my view always was that the purpose or the aim of this board should be to bring stability. And maybe with the next board, there will be a much better opportunities to look at the developmental aspects. But I'm really proud to say, besides the stability, and I'm making in inverted commas because everyone can say what is stability, what is the definition for stability. I think stability have different levels,
Yeah, yeah.
but we are at a more calmer stage where there's growth in terms of our player numbers. And besides us being accepted by SASCOC, SASCOC can issue now national colors to us. So there's a range of opportunities. And I think the good news also is that besides that, we are now for the first time also in 6 years going to get the funding from National Department of sports. So we've been operating without a real budget for basically almost 2 years. And I think this team have done amazingly well to put systems in place to generate funding internally from tournament registrations, players that needs to pay fees. And I can tell you, Calvin, is that in fact, even now, if we have our meetings, we still use our own data. We none of us getting stipends, and I think that is the commitment that the board have put in place. Not only the board, but also the provinces, because all of them also operate still out of their own pockets. Yes, there's a lot of pressure and expectations, but I think we need to understand is that there wasn't real any budget. Now at least we going to get some sort of a budget, and what makes me so proud if I look at the work that the treasurer has prepared in terms of, and I'm not going to name any figures in terms of the budget. It's far less than Chess South Africa used to got, and I think in the past we got about 1.5 million rand, which a sizable budget went to schools in the past.
Okay,
This time around, I think we only get about around about not even a quarter, not even a quarter of that.
okay.
But the commitment from us and from our treasury was that even more than half of that budget is allocated to coaching and strengthening coaching systems in South Africa. And I think that was the commitment from us when we actually, before we got elected, we said we want to bring change. The money shouldn't go to administrators. The money should really go to the players. And I think the commitment now in terms of the budget that was part is in terms of coaching, in terms of even support to develop more arbiters. It went to that because if we can develop the coaching system much better, I think we might stand a chance to improve the quality of our play. We're good as a country already, but I think we can do
We need the
much more
structure. Yeah, we need the
to
structure to
support
grow.
and better structure,
Yeah.
coaching structures, opportunities for coaches, etc. So, and I think something that I've been very excited about is the issue of supporting rural areas, rural provinces, and so on. And you would find that we have a database of coaches now national wide. We know how to contact our coaches. We know on which level our coaches are, and now we can actually implement the plan to say, listen, this is the level of the coaching, so this is where we want to move the
Yeah.
the level of the coaches. And as I say, most of that interventions will happen in other provinces where there isn't real certified coaches. And same with the arbiters is that a lot of the support that we will provide now is to provide support to arbiters in rural areas and outlying areas. Calvin, I think the exciting part about that is you would also know that we've transformed our rating system as just all the rating regulations as just
Okay.
South Africa. We now give more recognition to players through local titles. We've also said that as a Council of Chess South Africa, we had a long debate and we said that if we look at the rating regulations the Grand Prix system, it only serves those that have money or those that have actually, if I can say so, for lack of a better word, because the previous system actually incentivized those that play standard rated tournaments.
Okay.
And I think you that also comes from a rural province, you would know that it's not easy for people, for instance, in a rural area to play a standard rated tournaments, and you needed to play a certain number of games before you can actually get Grand Prix points.
Yeah, yeah.
We said yes, we will still issue Grand Prix points to the standard facet of the game, but let's include blitz games, let's include rapid, so that everyone in South Africa can benefit from the Grand Prix system, because there's a lot of kids that, I mean, in some of the areas you need to travel 300,000 or 300 kilometers to play a standard tournament. Now you can travel for the 300 kilometers, you play your rapid, play your blitz, and it still counts. Because if we say that players must only play standard rated games, then the majority of people or players in South Africa are excluded. You can imagine in for instance, in townships where there's violence and so on, people have to play late to finish standard tournaments. Now, actually, with this, I think strategy that we've put in
Does include
place,
them.
we
Yeah.
give, yeah. And I think the exciting part is now, Jabu from the AOC is working on the database that I've requested from them about a week ago. And what I told them is that I want to see where's arbiters and where there's no arbiters, so that we invest in those areas where there's no arbiters. So the AOC's funds and a portion of our money will be allocated in those areas where there's no arbiters. Because the vision of this executive board, and I think my vision in the beginning, was chess belongs to everyone. And people had debated this. And I think it was my strategy to start a debate, does chess really belongs to everyone? And the answer is no, it doesn't belong to everyone. But all of us have a responsibility to work together to ensure that we include everyone. And that's why with the arbiters training, what I would like to achieve there is that every child in South Africa must have access to rated games. I've informed, for instance, the arbiters commission is that it cannot be just that a provincial arbiter can rate tournaments, or we need to make sure that we use our tournament supervisors in areas where there's no arbiter. Because if there is no rated tournament there, then we fail the kids there. Then we fail the poor kids that cannot afford to play rated tournaments. And those kids need to compete against those that have, the Lewakses, I'm making like this, that have access to a rated tournament close by. And that is unfair. So there's still a lot of transformation that needs to actually transform the whole system. And I think we've done fairly well at this stage, just to put all those ducks in a row. And hopefully the new term will bring more opportunities to bring to make sure that every kid, every player, every adult, every senior in South Africa can benefit from Chess South Africa.
Okay, lovely. Thanks, Andre, for that. I would like to
Yes, it's a bit
personally.
long.
No, but it was good. It was good. I can sit and listen more, listen for quite a while. So I would like to just say well done on that. First of all, getting us back into SASCOC. That's a huge one. So thanks for getting us back on track there. And I mean, this whole structure that you're talking about, the coaching and the arbiters and all of this is something new to me. I've been in chess for quite a while now, for many years, and it sounds promising. You of course need to first, like in chess, you first need to visualize your strategy before you implement it. And I wish that you guys can have a great success with implementing this. So that's fantastic. And of course, thinking about South Africa at a bigger stage now. I heard at some point some exciting news about us maybe did we throw in an official bid for the Olympiad? What Olympiad year is this? Is South Africa? Is the Olympiad coming to South Africa? That's what I want to know.
Calvin, saying just hosting the Olympiad gives me a fright, I must say, because it's huge and it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
huge responsibility. And I think we want to actually put our name in the hat. I think that is the stage where we are now. We will also in December, we will have the General Assembly of the African Chess Confederation, where we will do a presentation to the other African chess federations to say, listen, let us work together to ensure that we can host the Olympiad in Africa. Previous years, um, when the FIDE General Assembly will vote on who get the Olympiad, then countries vote differently. And I think we want to get Africa at a stage where
To
we
be
say,
united, yeah, at
listen,
least.
we
Yeah.
need to be we've never been that basically united. We always vote for different parts. And we said that this is opportunity to fly the African flag to say that we are united. We want to have the Olympiad year. We cannot say. I mean, FIDE's motto say is that we are one family, and we cannot say that we are one family because otherwise we are step family because the
We never
Olympiad.
going to that uncle's house, man. There's Uncle Africa.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we're looking at 2030. It's going to
Okay,
be a
2030.
huge,
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be a huge task because it's not like other sporting codes where um, the different countries pay for their own costs. In chess, it works like that. If you host the Olympiad, the host country must carry the cost, and it's not easy because if you look at the number of players, accommodations that needs to be covered, and the top-notch accommodation. You need to host the General Assembly. You need to pay for those officials, and I think what is going to make it more challenging this time around is that the World Chess Olympiad for disabilities is going to be also be part of this
Okay.
the 2020 2030 but so it's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge financial responsibility, but I'm not saying it's impossible. So it means that we'll have to plan and that we need everyone. We need everyone to work together. We need stability in terms of our structures in Chess South Africa. But also, I always believe that there's a lot of parents that have companies, and we need to stand together to build our sport and sponsor. Because and it's like any other sponsorship. I think we've now, in terms of the systems that we've put in place, Chess South Africa is registered. We as a legal entity, we are VAT registered, and we tick all those boxes so people can actually claim back from SARS if they sponsor.
Okay.
So we want to actually position ourselves as a federation of choice, and where people, if they contribute, they can claim back from government in terms of chess. We need to be more proud of our code. It doesn't always come through. Where we show that pride, yeah, maybe it's debatable, but and that is one thing that I normally brag about is that there's more than 64 sports federations nationally. Chess is the sixth biggest chess or sport federation in the country.
Six
We
figures.
have the sixth biggest.
Okay.
We are bigger than in terms of player numbers.
Okay.
We are bigger than swimming, South Africa.
Wow.
But if you think about swimming, you think about, oh, those people must be huge. They're on TV, they're
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere. We have our player numbers is bigger than netball, South Africa, golf, and so on. Um, and by the way, last year we got about 27,000 900 active players
Okay, that's an
that
interesting
played
fact.
rated tournaments and
Okay.
so on, which was a record. We already this year standing on 27, currently on 27,300 something. So for the past 3 years, we've seen a huge growth in the numbers, which is very good. and we actually passing big sports federations, even boxing and so on. So if we talk about ourselves, we don't talk um, we don't let me rather say we talk about us as a small
Yeah,
federation. We're
that's a
not a
general
small,
way. Yeah, that's how they talk about
we
it.
are a huge federation. Yes, we need to do better to establish the infrastructure in
Yeah,
terms of office space. In fact, we are run by volunteers. And the big difference between us and the bigger federations is that they have officials. They have officials that are employed, and I think that is the direction where we want to. Actually, that is the Council of Chess South Africa have actually adopted a resolution to do that, to employ people. Hopefully, within the next 12 months, we'll be able to get there if we
okay.
can work out
That would
that.
be that would be
And
a
and
good
and
step.
then I think things will move much more in a more
Yeah,
semi-professional,
yeah.
uh, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Mm.
so you say we're at least throwing our name in there. I should Mikhail Bodvanik said that you peak in your 40s. I'm gonna hold on to that advice from Bodvanik. So 2030, that's my tie-dye. So we will see on that one, and then of course talking about the Olympiad, and now moving on to even a bigger, let's say, international front. December, is it December? Freestyle chess. South Africa is getting
Yes,
involved.
freestyle,
So,
freestyle.
what's happening? Are we going to be able to see anything? I read last time that it's going to be in some secluded area, so no live seats. What's happening? Are we going to get a South
Yeah.
African commentator in there? I'm available. So, what's happening with freestyle?
Yeah.
Are we having Magnus them over here?
Yeah, we're having Magnus and some of the top super GMs here.
Wow, amazing.
And I must say is that the event is very close. In other legs, there was tickets sold where people can go and
Yeah, yeah.
can view and so on. At this one, it will be in Grootbos, close to Hermanus. There will be no tickets sold.
I look. I was already imagining if they, like, say, let's say hypothetically there are some tickets being sold. How much is it gonna go for anyway? I mean, if they sell it for a certain amount, I don't know how many South Africans would be. I'm not coming to watch Magnus Dim for 3K for the evening.
You know,
So
there is people
maybe
that
they
is
were
willing to
practical
pay.
about it. I don't know.
There's
Yeah.
always people that is willing to pay. But what we're working at in terms of the organizers is to make it more accessible to the players.
Okay.
And that was a call with the organizers to say, listen, yes, you have a close event, but let's look at activities that we can expose the chess community.
At least to know that these guys set foot here in South Africa, right? And
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So there will be a fan park
Okay.
at the waterfront. I think there will be 2 or 3 days of activities, nice fun activities. And I think it will be open to everyone that wants to come and attend. Some of the GMs will make some appearances there. There will be some celebrities. Chess Base India will have some
Nice.
commentary and so on. So I think that would be quite fun. And then we will also visit one of the clubs in Cape Metro, and we will announce that hopefully within the next week or two.
Nice.
Uh, and there is a possibility that Magnus will make an appearance there. If not, because we're not always sure about Magnus.
We're gonna get Hans.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've just got a image about the whole thing. But anyway, but there will be then some of the other super GMs that will at least go out to that activity. So that is
Okay.
in terms of exposure. They will allow basically two players access with access cards at the playing venue with some dignitaries. But then also there, somewhere in the Overberg, will be another symbol and some activities, etc. So I've requested from the organizers that they give me the schedule of events.
Yeah.
and then we will certainly publish it, and then we ask people to come out
Oh,
and
definitely.
support some of those events. I think it's a good thing. Yes, we wanted to be more open, but they've chose South Africa, which is a plus for us, and the world's eyes will be on our country, and we must take it as an opportunity to say, listen, because sometimes people think that Africa is just uncivilized. So we must show them, listen, we are a country of note. We are good in our tourism, but also we are hospitable, and we can actually host big names and big players and big events. And yeah, so and I think that is the interest of Chess South Africa. This is why we're working with the organizers to say, listen, yes, you're coming to host, but we want to work with you on a certain number of elements. And the next stop should be having bigger events in South Africa, so that our players can benefit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think as soon as those dates come out, we should put it out there for whatever it is that's available. Because I think the numbers, I think the waterfront is going to be packed
Yeah,
with chess
we're
players
gonna have
and all of that.
underwater chess as well.
So,
I've looked on YouTube. It looks very hectic.
sounds taxing, yeah.
Have you ever think about playing underwater chess?
I'm trying to calculate as it is with getting older. Now you want to throw me in the water as well at the same time. I'm going to
I
pass
can't
out.
even hold my head under the water in the bath, so
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
must be quite something.
So okay, no, but I mean we're gonna be keen. So we're looking forward to that, and yeah, South Africa is going to definitely welcome all of those people with open arms. Um, So yeah, with all of that, of course, here comes an important section that I want to talk about, and it is of course the South African Close Championship. So the senior guys. Well, nowadays we have the close, and then we have the seniors as well, of course. So I want to know where shall we start? What are there any? Okay, so I'm part of the supposed playing field, but what are the official dates? I've read in some document. Is it like 21 Feb to 1 March? Is this date secured?
Yes.
And can you just tell us a bit more, like the dates, the venue, and so on?
Yeah, we're starting on the 20th of February, as you said. I think you mentioned the correct dates.
Okay.
We have finalized the venue now. I cannot announce it here. It will be announced. It will be a very good venue, I
Okay.
must say. It's sponsored by one of the big companies in South Africa, insurance companies.
Okay.
And I think we want to make it a very special venue because we've learned from previous venues that players have experienced a lot of disturbances and so on. So we want to make sure that there's a good environment for the players. Yeah, it will be very accessible in Gauteng, of course, close to railway stations. It will be close to the Gautrain for people that want to travel and so on. I don't want to let too much out of that bag, but I can say it is secured, and it
Okay.
will be a very good venue. And we've actually some of the mistakes that we made in the past in terms of the conditions in the venues. I mean, imagine if I think about the last venue, the issues with the chairs and so on. It it wasn't quite good conditions, but it will be a huge improvement
Okay.
that I can be.
So, okay, now I have some questions about this. So, first of all, it being in Gauteng, I warmly welcome that idea of it being in Gauteng. Since I played SA Closed in, I think I started 2007. I played my first SA Closed. It's been in Cape Town forever. So it's gonna be a first for me, but I think the Gauteng guys deserve the close to get there. But now I've got some questions now about the dates and so on. 21 Feb to 1 March. How do those dates, are they not inconvenient? Is that during school? How is this going to help people that work? The kids that are at school, do they need to take off from school? How does this work? How did you guys get to this date? Because it seems awkward.
Well, yeah, it seems for some people awkward, but you will never get a date that will satisfy everyone. I think a lot of people, how can I say, is that if you look at, for instance, affordability, it's out of the season. Accommodation might be cheaper. If you look at in December, January is normally a bit more expensive. So, and we've looked at all those cost elements, but also there is not a lot of those that are actually in school. So yeah, I think we satisfied with the dates, and I think there's a lot of planning involved in this, and we want to make sure that we have our ducks in a row, and to make sure that the organizing committee get enough place to put or space and time to put everything together. Yeah.
Okay, so now I have to, of course, go deeper into this one. So, talking about getting everybody happy for certain dates, I think you can get that theoretically again. I think December or January, somewhere in December or early January, would be ideal for most people because you'll get your people that work, you get your kids that are at school, and I think since I've been playing as well, there's been like one close like in March or something with the previous CHESSA. But I think that would be more ideal. If you think about the logistics, for instance, someone that is working someone needs to take off from work for this. I don't know how long the close is, 10 days, and then not only that, then the Olympiad also is happening. The Olympiad is 2 weeks. So you got to take off how do you get so many days off? And then there's African individuals as well. It seems impractical that that's the case for working people at least. And it seems very difficult for me to grasp that these are the dates. I mean, if we talk about venue, and again, I'm throwing this out as a chess player. I'm not attacking at all.
No.
Right, but from a chess player's point of view, from a humble coach point of view, if you would tell me that the venue is a problem, if it were to be in Cape Town, I mean, I can organize a venue for you in December or January. No worries. It's not going to be a 5-star hotel, but if we have to have a date, if you tell me I have to organize some 10 days, I'm sure Cape Town can organize it, and I'm pretty sure Joburg should be capable to do that. So from my viewpoint, it seems very impractical. I mean, there's just not people that can take so many days off. It doesn't make sense to me. So this is a first for me. And I'm glad that the dates are at least fixed now, because I was worried about making bookings and traveling and all of that. That's something else we can discuss, but I mean, was it impossible? I mean, you guys, how long have you been planning for this SA closed? Surely we could have had something earlier.
Oh, Calvin, it was not easy to get even to this date. I can tell you that it was just a challenge to get to a point where we can actually announce this date. So there's so much that happened behind the scenes.
Okay.
That I, of course, cannot disclose here. But I'm doing a mental note about some of the things that you've raised, and I think there's a lot of merit into what you're saying. That I must admit. But what I can say is that we now have the date, and there is some time for people um, to plan. But I can also say that I will also take some of the things that you said back to the board, because we work with a number of people that look at things differently. I'm not one of those leaders that we have a conversation now and tomorrow it will be changed, or I get an idea now and then we change it. There's collective decision making and so on. So those discussions normally happens without behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's see. What else do I have in mind? Oh, well, and then of course, just a bit of a fun, not a fun fact, but a fact. When it comes to the closed, I think traditionally we would have it again, like the previous closed. I think we should probably just discount the last two closed, 2 or 3 closed. But traditionally, South Africa would host the SA closed on an odd year. Right. So the Olympiad is now in 2026. So we would have the trials the previous year to give this time for the players to get there. So I think that's just something. I think Dr. Boa told me once upon a time that because he knows all the stats. I think he told me something like since 2001 or 2002, somewhere there, 2001, we've been hosting it like December wise or something on the odd number. So that is something that I would highly recommend we hopefully get back to at some point.
Yeah. No, thanks for the recommendation. I think that is what I like, is that
because it's a bit close to the Olympiad, Mr. President. Like it's just Olympia is like around the corner. It's tricky. So yeah,
there is some little improvement at least. The previous close.
When did we have the last closed?
It was first week in April, I think.
Okay. We improving.
Yeah.
So
we're not where we want to be, but what we will have to do better is our planning. And I think I want to put more effort and more time into that. If you look at, for instance, or planning of the chess calendar, because sometimes I think it's not. Yes.
No, sorry to cut. I just want to say, talk about chess calendar. Shouldn't the SA close be like the main tournament on the calendar? I mean, I think that should be priority. The senior close. This is what the juniors and everybody else strive for. When I was a youngster, this is the tournament that I worked hard just to get to play. Some people don't even get to play this tournament. So I think you're definitely planning if you can do that for the future installments or whoever is the executive. I don't know when is elections again.
But, hence I'm saying that we need to actually rethink the chess calendar, total whole chess calendar of Chess South Africa. Because we have Mzansi now in December, and we were contemplating, can we have the senior close with Mzansi and so on? And then people say, no, it's going to be Mzansi's already.
You've got your coaches there as well, and so on.
You have coaches go, they make revenue, they make an income there.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to like that idea, the coaches. And so on.
And then also, so we need to look at, especially when it comes to the SA close, I mean, it happens every 2 years and so on. So you need to rethink, all right, if you had the previous Mzansi in December, maybe with the date of the SA close, you can switch it around, maybe having the close in December, and because it has
throw
been
the kids in January or February, whenever. So
it's also not easy from a parenting perspective to have a tournament in January, because you're thinking about school. Some schools opens this time and other schools. So
it's private schools and public schools and all of that.
It's not easy, but I think we need to make more time to put more planning into that.
Okay, so thanks for that, Andre. Just a last note. When it comes to the organizing side of this event, I gotta ask. So last time there wasn't a prize fund. Now it's already difficult for us traveling to Joburg in 10 days, and so is there gonna be a prize fund? Potentially from the hosting organizers, because I don't know what the document said last time about CHESSA not having a budget for this. Surely there should be some, or is there some money that can get allocated to this important tournament, or are we going to be stuck here?
There's discussions, there's discussions around the prize fund, and those discussions still need to be finalized. We'll make an announcement when it's finalized. So it's not only for us about the prize fund. Yes, it's important also. Actually, before we started the interview, I had a call with one of our board members to say, listen, we'll have to talk about the prize fund and the possibility of a prize fund and so on. So there is, I think, thought around it.
Okay.
We need to finalize it. And then I think very important is that, as you say, it's expensive to go and play. It's actually more expensive if you made the team because you need to make sure there's flights, there's flights, the visas. And I mean, Olympiad is taking some time away from work as well. So there's, as I say, there is discussions around how do we support the team better this time around. And I want to actually put more time into that and making sure that we at least get some resources to support the team much better.
That would
Um,
be, I think that would be essential because, like I said, as a youngster, you try to strive to make the team. Coming from
mm,
a rural area, I can tell you that making a SA junior team for the first time, um, my parents had to dish out a lot of money for me to go and play in a junior event. Like my first SA endeavor or representing my country I was a late bloomer. I like made the team under 20s. Like I went to
mm,
Armenia, and that was an expensive trip.
mm.
And all of these trips are expensive. We all know it's not easy, but the one thing that I looked forward to, and I can tell you from the two Olympiads that I have participated in, it's all expenses paid. Traditionally, all the players get covered. So that is something that was a bit of a shock to us. Of course, knowing that you guys just took over from the old, we
Yeah,
know there's some complications, but hopefully in future it can improve and get back to the
yeah.
old days where at least this
Calvin,
one tournament you
in
represent
the
your country
past,
at the highest level.
FIDE used to support the team
Yeah.
in terms of the flights and accommodation and so on. But I think the problem now is that FIDE have different development levels.
But they
So
that changed recently with FIDE. Oh no.
yeah,
Oh
now
no.
we in a different development level, and in
Oof.
that development level, we don't get any development funding from FIDE. We also don't get support for the team. So it's like because we are playing better, our ratings increase.
You get
We are
punishment.
now exactly. So
Oof.
that is the thing, and I think that's why some, in fact, even at the previous Olympiad, some of the other African countries and other countries that on a certain the development level, they got DGT boards and so on.
Oof.
So at the Olympiad, my view was I attended the development commission and I was actually pleading that there should be transformation in terms of the criteria. Because if you look at South Africa, we are the most unequal country in the world if you look at the World Inequality Index. And the inequalities are spread along race and background and so on. So there's a certain portion of our society, unfortunately, that have resources, others doesn't have resources. We have a huge poor black player base that doesn't really have the resources that some of our other colleagues have. And if we look at development fund, my request was let's redefine development levels. Let's redefine, and that's a debate that I actually took up with at the African Chess Confederation now recently, and I'm very pleased that we got support from other African countries to say that let's at the African Chess Confederation General Assembly, let's debate this and that they have one united viewpoint or policy view as Africa to say we want to take to the General Assembly of FIDE to say, listen, this development fund is not working for us. And my question pertinent to the other African countries, that the development funds that you got, did it help you to improve your chess? And the majority of them said no. So we cannot have a criteria and a development funding criteria that are blanketly being implemented for all countries. The conditions in different countries and different continents is not the same. And I think that is what we want to try advocate for change with. And I know we're a little bit off the point, but the development fund and the development levels actually, I would say, discriminate in some sense, and it doesn't facilitate real development. And because of that, our players don't get the necessary support that other players and one get from other countries. One thing that I've raised to FIDE is that we are currently still paying international debt. God willing, we're finishing end of next year with our FIDE debt. We're doing quite well there. We're one of the countries that was singled out by FIDE that we're doing well in paying off our FIDE debt. And then we'll have more funds to support players better, and especially our Olympiad teams and so on. But what I was saying to FIDE is that you guys actually unbanned us 18, just before the Olympiad. You would remember
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
was
Yeah. Touch and go.
about
It
two
was touch and
months
go.
before the Olympiad, and
Yeah.
then they came with us with a letter to say, if you don't pay your debt, you're not going to send the Olympiad team. And then we have to run around to say,
Because there's
oh,
still talks about South Africans are not going to get the flag and stuff in the tournaments.
yeah, we
When
didn't have a bank account yet. And I was saying, listen, now we don't have any funds. We only have debt. You say that our players doesn't qualify for support. I was writing a letter to plead, listen, pay our flights and so on. They didn't listen to us and
okay.
so on. And that's why I'm saying, besides just selecting a team, organizing a close. There's so much other things behind the scenes that you need to advocate for, that you need to try to work out and get and address to make sure that the conditions is good, to have a good SA close, to have a well supported team. Yeah, so it's not an easy job.
Okay, so I wasn't aware. I mean, if you are saying that the FIDE structure changed since the last essay closed with regards to the funding, then okay,
The development levels
I,
is.
I'm not aware of that. So I think we should perhaps start. I don't know. CHESSA should start some fund, the Backer Buddy Olympiad fund, Backer
Yeah,
Olympiad Buddy for the next 2 years, and then just put in that, because I mean these are the players that are basically representing the country, and
yeah.
also with regards to the essay close, I think that should also
Yeah,
be
I think
prioritized with organizing.
some players tried that. If we do it, we need to have commitment from the chess community.
Yeah, but okay, not
And when we talk,
individually, more like an
yeah,
Olympiad fund, right?
yeah.
So yeah, there's various ways that one can try to do it, but okay.
But what we've
Um,
done now, in terms of our treasurer,
yeah,
is that he have actually put money aside. He started
okay,
to put money aside
towards
specific
Olympiad.
for the Olympiad.
Okay, that's good.
In our current budget, I think since July this year, and we would like to grow that, so that it's a fund that stays there. Because I mean, even in terms of, it's not about just selecting a team, as I said. We need to start thinking about, if the team is selected, and we have resources
Some
for our
training
team,
and so on for the team. Yeah,
training, all of those kind of things, and marketing, and
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that
Okay.
is eventually where we want to move towards. It's not easy. You can see that I've just got more gray hair.
Yeah, no, it's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking about.
yeah. Okay. No, no. Thanks for that, Andre. So I think on that note, I have maybe one last question about the close itself, and then And then I just want to just very briefly chat about the website. I know you're probably not the guy to talk about because you're not the designer or, I mean, even the ratings
Mm-hmm.
officer. But I just have some general dumb questions that I want to ask you. But so when it comes to the closed, now the players list, of course, we were all eager to see the players list and so on. Now I
Mm-hmm.
gotta ask, there's two players that I can see for now is not on the list, which is a bit surprising to me. I don't know if the list is at all changing at all or whatever the case is. But I mean, the defending champion Daniel Barish is not on the list. I would like to know why, and this is just me being curious. And then, of course, our one and only Grandmaster Kenny Solomon. So these are the two players that I compete against all the time. It's not like I am like, yay, these guys must come and end up above me. But I think they are my colleagues, and of course I'm curious why they are not on the list. Did they miss some criteria or what?
Yeah, there is criteria, but what I can also say is that I'm not at liberty to talk about this
Ah, okay,
now.
okay,
And the reason is that we received some communication from the gentleman, and I've sent it to the national selectors to deliberate on it
okay,
and to come back to Chess South Africa with recommendations and so on. So
okay,
that's why I'm saying it will be premature for me now to talk
okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no. So okay, so we will be putting that on ice.
Yes.
Then let's see. Yeah, that is, I think, about it. Then, okay, talking about the CHESSA website, I have a question that I've been dying to ask anyone now about, because since COVID came, you have your profile and you have your blitz rating and your rapid rating. I want to know what's the main rating and what is the standard rating, and what do you guys use for selection? What I'm confused. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. What do you guys use, and what is the main rating? I would assume standard is like your classical rating or what?
No. Yeah, you still have your classical rating or your standard rating, and you still
Oh,
have
is
your
that
rapid
standard?
and your blood rating.
Okay.
And then the main rating is a combination of actually
Of those three.
some yeah of
Or
those three. FIDE is actually moving in the same direction. You will
okay.
see it soon. But what I will maybe perhaps want to recommend to you is
Yeah.
that we get maybe some of our people on Nexus because there's
Yeah.
number of information outside that players and parents doesn't know
The
about it.
public just need to
For
know about,
instance, if
yeah.
we're looking at our new title regulation, how does it work? People
Yeah.
doesn't know,
Yeah.
and so on. The same with the rating regulations and so on. I've in fact asked Gunther to prepare some information sessions. Perhaps I have to go
Okay.
back to him again to ask when that will happen. But I think it would be interesting when there's some people and people can actually ask questions around certain things. Yeah. So
Uh,
let us, yeah.
no, thanks for that, Andre, because I remember now, just I'm having a flashback. I remember I had Gunther on my previous channel, on the Twitch channel years ago. So, I mean, I would
Mm,
love to have
mm.
Gunther out or
Yeah.
unofficially ask him
Yeah,
if he
because
wants
there's
to do
a
some.
number of new things that we've actually developed and started, and I think it will be a nice, good, informative session to get more officials out there. And then perhaps if players and some of the chess public can send some questions even in advance where people can just go and prepare themselves. We want to share more information because if we have empowered chess community, it strengthened the whole system. Yeah, and I think Calvin, we are still a young leadership. Our election date will be announced soon. We will go to election within the next 3 months again.
Oh, okay.
But we still a young leadership that I would say that have developed over the past 2 years. And yeah, I think these type of discussions help us to think differently. I was actually recommending to the African Chess Confederation the other day to say we are putting so much effort in development in various aspects of the game. We need to develop our administrators. There's no fund, there's no intervention to develop chess administrators. So if we want to say we want to have more GMs, we cannot just focus on coaching because a lot of the things that are being decided are actually decided by administrators. And we will have to put in more resources to develop administrators, not only on a national level, but from club level up. Then we will get an excellent chess ecosystem.
Lovely. Talking about that, now you just reminding me on another question. So again, please forgive me if I'm ignorant about everything because I'm mostly a chess player and just a coach. With regards to let's say the players being represented, or is there something like a Playcom that's still existent in CHESSA? And also maybe is there an ethics committee? I know if FIDE has something like this, but is there a Playcom and the ethics, or is there
There is an
what's
ethics
happening?
committee. Some of the ethics committee members stepped down, so that we
Okay.
are a bit, how can I say, short-staffed, if I may say so, for lack of a better word. But the Playcom actually did fell flat.
Okay.
And I think that is where we need much more support from players. And we'll provide the support where we can, but we want something that is player driven. So there was debates, for instance, at at our bosberaad was Saskok, should we rather, for instance, not have a players commission, but a committee like we have with the selection committee, with that have the rep on the executive board, something like that. So that is some of the discussions that we had. I don't have a resolution in front of me. We
Yeah.
actually have a resolution around it.
Okay.
But I would say that it would be nice if senior players come through. I mean, I'm willing to sit with senior players, at least to say, listen, how can we get the Playcom going? Because a lot of the people in some senior players, they're busy with a lot of things, and they don't always have the time to put into
The Playcom
being a
side, yeah.
player's.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but also it is so important because if there is a player's rep, at least it will help the administration and other leaders to think differently.
Yeah.
But if we also have a Playcom, we also want the Playcom to at least consult with players. So
Yeah. They need to be active like that. Yeah.
yeah, I come from an era, Calvin, where people need to organize sometimes themselves also. So they can people cannot just wait on the higher structure for. I don't want to be hierarchical, to organize them and so on. So it would be nice if some players come forward and we have discussions and we see how do we improve on that side.
Okay.
But now, I think for the mode that we will go in as this executive board is a mode of going into preparations for our elections. So it will be a futile exercise now to invest
Oh
in
yeah.
committees and commissions and a players commission if there needs to be elections. And I think after the elections, that is normally the next level that needs to be put in place. Yeah, so.
Okay, that's a good. I think this whole discussion on there was a great eye opener and just a great enrichment to me for my own knowledge. Because as chess players, we just have tunnel vision, and we just want to analyze in a certain part of the board. But with regards to this Playcom. Okay, there's something concerning about it, and I hope that when the elections are done, that this can be addressed. Because I mean, if you do now have players, maybe a player that has a problem from a Cape Town Masters or something like this,
Yeah.
and their federation or the region is not listening to them, then there's an issue. And you don't know, must you go to the ethics committee, must you go to the Playcom, but there's no representation. So that's mainly the way I'm also getting some personal motivation to ask that question.
You
But
see,
yeah.
the other thing is also we need to have the players' representatives up from even club level to regional level, provincial level, and national level. So if we start just putting things in place in a national level and it doesn't speak to from club level up, then you will get this where we've tried to put it in place in a national level, but there's no base.
Yeah.
So and this is something that cannot be managed by chess SA executive board themselves. The players must also manage their own structures
Mm.
so that the input can come through to the structures, to the mandate, to the executive board. Otherwise, and I'm really proud to say that in the West Coast where I'm from, we had our regional elections just recently, and we've appointed a players rep there. We've
Okay.
appointed a women's rep. We've appointed a youth rep for adult chess, for arbiters, and so on. And what they actually plan now, the next level is training for those officials as well. So that is something that should happen on various levels of the chess ecosystem. Because if it's only going to happen at a national level, who are you accountable to?
Yeah. Okay, I get you. I think Western Cape should go to Cape Town Chess next. But anyways, I would like to thank you, Andre. Thank you so much for joining. I think I've been wanting you on the channel for quite a while. I'm very happy that you are on the channel, being transparent and giving your side of the story when it comes with regards to all of this. So thank you for the hard work that you guys are putting in. We will be eagerly watching what's happening with the SA close from a player's perspective, of course. So there's still some gloominess there that we need to sort out. But you say the dates are fixed at least, so I can book my tickets. I can do that. Yeah. Any final words from the CHESSA president? Anything that we should look forward to, or is the freestyle? Well, what is next? Mzansi, or what should we look forward to next?
Yes, Mzansi, freestyle. We have a team at the Commonwealth. We have a team that is going to the African youth and so on. So this year has been a roller coaster. If you look at the number of tournaments that our players have participated internationally, actually, South Africa stand out among some of those African countries, but not everyone participate at all the international tournaments and so on. So I think it's just supporting systems and so on that needs to get attention. But nothing in life is perfect, and I always believe that we should learn. And I hope there will be opportunity that we say that, listen, we had this executive board now. Let us evaluate what happened in terms of everything that the board have done now. And that if there's a new board coming in, that there should be a learning phase because we did not have an opportunity to evaluate the performance of the previous board and other boards. Um, because if you just move from one board to another board to another board, you might transfer some of the mistakes that you've done. It's like my professional field is in the interdisciplinary social science. And we talk about intergenerational transfer of violence, intergenerational transfer of many social ills. So if you don't evaluate and you cut off, you might transfer some of these things. And the good thing about intergenerational transfer in social sciences is that if you look at literature, we only talk about bad transfers. You can also transfer good things. So if we can start good things now, we see what we can transfer to the
Yeah,
next board. But we also need to properly review and cut what we need don't need
then
to
improve on that.
transfer.
Yeah, yeah,
As a
yeah.
player, Calvin, that as a player, you also have your bad habits that you transfer from one game to another game.
Definitely,
If you don't
definitely,
properly evaluate,
definitely.
otherwise that will continue. That
Yeah.
is basically the same that needs to be happening.
You definitely need to go over your play, right? You need to analyze and then improve. So,
Exactly. I
yeah,
hope
no,
that we will be able to have a fair analysis of our game and that we improve in the next and in the next term.
yeah, I thank you, sir. And to the viewers out there, throw in your comments, throw in your questions. We'd love to hear more from Chess South Africa, the players and the spectators and everyone else. So, and if you are new to the channel, by the way, don't forget to press that subscribe button. And we will see you hopefully again sometime, Mr. Lewaks. Thank you
Sure,
very
and thank
much.
you for inviting me. It was a nice discussion, and I really enjoy it. Keep up the good work, and promote chess and grow
Thank you.
chess in South Africa.
Thank you, sir. You have a lovely evening.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers, cheers.
Same to you. Keep
Bye.
well. Bye.